This is a very fun project. One of the things that's really fun about it is it's got a tambour door. And unlike other tambours, what I did on this one is I left all the edges square so that when that's closed, it looks like one solid cherry panel. The really cool step I'm going to do with this is to carve it. Let's step away from that for just a second. And we're going to come back to Arbortech in a little bit, but let's look first at what it took to put the tambour door together. When you build the jig for your tambour door, you want to make sure you've got two reference surfaces that are perfectly perpendicular to each other. On this first piece that I'm going to put in for my tambour, that one is extra wide. That's the one that the pull is going to go on. Then from there, we'll just build up the rest of the pieces in the jig, keeping in mind that they're going into this good face down. Once all the pieces are in, we want to sandwich them tight against each other. That's what this strip is for. You can either put a clamp on that and pull, or just pull. But we want to really make sure this is all closed. An important aspect of these retainer strips is that they're lower than the door that you're putting together. Mark out where we don't want glue to go, and that's the depth of the grooves that the tambour will fit into. And tape that off. Then a film of glue over everything. Gonna wipe some of that excess off the masking tape with a paper towel. And if there is still some glue on there, it's not a big deal. Your canvas should be oversized. Gets trimmed later. It's a good idea to roll it. This is a laminate roller in order to seat it into the glue. A layer of wax paper just in case you get a little bleed through, a little squeeze out. Clamping caul, big old piece of MDF. And a clamp. Let that dry. Let that door dry, but not completely dry. It's about 30 minutes since I put glue on here. What we want to do is make sure we didn't glue the tambours together. Gently remove this from the jig. And what we want to do is flex everything to make sure it'll flex. If glue got in between tambours, you'll have glued them to each other. So we want to make sure that everything will open. There we go. But be gentle on that canvas, the glue's not fully dry yet. Once you know everything will flex and roll through, Put it back in the jig and let it fully cure. Next thing with this is to get rid of the excess canvas. These edges are easy, we just got a flush cut to the edge. Then on the ease ends, we're going to cut to where the masking tape ended. Next, with the Tambour door, we have to create a rabbet here that's going to fit into the groove in the cabinet. I'm going to do that on the router table. Just keep tweaking that until this readily travels in the groove. My Tambour door is fitted to the cabinet and ready to go. To go is, I want to carve this and give it a really amazing texture. I'm going to do that using Arbortech's Mini Grinder. And the cutter I have on there right now is their Mini Pro. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to carve in kind of a sweeping pattern across here. The reason this is X'd out is that is where a pull that we're also going to make with this tool, that's where a pull is going to live. I want to make sure I leave that flat so that the pull can get glued in place. As I keep going with this, a few things. What I'm shooting for is not leaving any flats in my texture. I want it to go from peak to peak to peak. One of the things I really like about this, and as you watch the next go around here, watch for this, I'm not gorilla gripping this tool at all. It's really easy to control this, and that's important for me to get the texture to come out exactly the way I want it to. I'm gonna go back and just rinse and repeat and keep doing more of this pretty cool looking texture. I love how that looks. I love that texture on there. And what's neat is gonna be, when this door is closed, it's of course gonna look like this, like one big panel. But then the surprise is when we open it, you'll see this in a little bit, that's where the tambour itself is gonna get revealed. That worked out great in order to put that texture on there. We're gonna use that head for another step. That piece of walnut is gonna create the pull for the door. What I wanna do to make that a little more cool is do a finger relief on each side and then also ease it so it's more tactile. It feels better in your hands. So we'll stick with the Mini Pro to start. I like that. But next, let's set up to ease these corners. Now with the sanding disc on, I can knock those corners down, I can clean up any of my machining, and of course it's hook and loop, so when I'm done with that grit, I can easily go to that grit. So I'm going to use this to finish making my pull. I love the way that when the door is closed, it just looks like a big panel, but then of course with the tambour, it allows it to go back into the cabinet. And this textured look that I got from the mini grinder is absolutely amazing. I love this project. I love making this door. And the mini grinder really was the hero on this whole thing. Great cut quality coming off of the Mini Pro head. And then the ability to also create the pull, get everything smooth and sanded and finished. What a winner. This was a great project, very fun.